Often the intentions are about business, money, health, life, love. They're raveled intentions, but the answer is in the unraveling. The satisfaction is in the unraveling. It's in the body, it's in the heart. It's bringing the unraveled state to each other and getting used to what that experience is like. This is Aliveness. I'm your host, Alison Crosthwait, a guide and former psychotherapist here to empower you to break out of your old patterns, shift into a new state of being, and ignite your aliveness. There's no better day to talk about raveled and unraveled than my birthday. It is the morning of my 48th birthday, and I am unraveled in all the ways. I know I'm not alone in how birthdays contain lots of different things. So when I first heard the word unraveled in this context, it was from Jim Finley, who talked about being always unraveled. And Heather and I just love this word. It gave me a flash of something that I hadn't quite been able to speak to before. And it was sometimes in medicine work, it's very painful, but I've had this sensation, this experience of how tight I am, especially as the effects are coming on and they're showing you something different, a different experience, but you're still in your current day. And it's like, oh, I just hold like this. I hold so tightly. I am raveled as opposed to unraveled. And the thing is, our culture is all about being raveled as opposed to unraveled. So look at me. I've chosen my outfit, my birthday outfit. My hair is a bit unraveled actually because the blowout hasn't happened yet. But I've chosen a necklace. I've chosen nail colors. The background is specifically chosen. And I'm having thoughts about the fact, because we had some furniture changes, there's some books over there. I'm wondering what books they are. Should they be there? You see how raveled? Like it's like, I got to be this expert. I've got to present something to the world. Is this good enough? Why am I doing this? Will this help people connect with me? Like all of these things of holding on. But like nature doesn't really hold on. Nature doesn't hold on. It allows. And it's open. And things happen. Things happen. I know I've used this example before, but like feeding my pets is not on my to-do list. It happens. It never not happens. Life happens because we are responding to our bodies and the bodies around us and the beings around us. It does just happen, and it happens as we are unraveled. So raveled is, here's how you do it. Here's some tips and tricks. Look at me. Here's what I've done. You should trust me. It's, are you feeling this? I can help you with this. I've been through this. Here's a better way to do it. It's linear. It's armored. Unconsciously. Very unconsciously. Every single one of us. It's the blank slate of the therapist. It's every time I'm interviewed and every time I go on the podcast. Anytime you're asked to talk or to teach, we're raveled. We are, to some extent, creating something, pushing forward, holding on. And mostly, almost everyone you see do this does it with a kind of holding on that belies often the how of what they're saying, myself included. And the path that I'm really on is to open and allow life to flow through and trust that. Other ways that raveled gets in our heads, like deliver on our promise, meet expectations, those types of things, which have us creating for. And there's nothing wrong, of course, with keeping agreements. I think it ultimately comes down to what agreements are we willing to make? And when there are expectations that we have not agreed to, learning how to let those go, which is a process. It's a process. And over again, something will happen and I will feel like I failed and I'll be triggered. I'll be working it with my body and loving it up and letting that move through and letting the old material that got evoked by that move through. And also recognizing that in those cases, it's not that I broke my word. I didn't promise to be that thing for that person. In those cases where I've done that, it's actually much less triggering to take responsibility and say, I let you down. I broke my word, or I understood it differently. Let's renegotiate this, as opposed to these expectations that we take on ourselves, which are the ways in which we ravel ourselves up instead of unraveling. Unraveled. Unraveled is open to life. It's an open heart with your open heart, which means all the feelings constantly flowing through and with their own beauty. Fear, pain, joy, excitement, desire, sadness, anger, wow, just like moving through emotion in motion. It's open to mystery. It's open to more. This is my experience. What's your experience? And together we create something. That's really the honest way of humans being together. Because there's no roadmap to this. And each human being has a glimmer of the web, has one of the mirrors. So each human being's experience has as much validity in the cosmic web as the next one for showing us something about what is real, but just something, and then something over here, and then something over here. So when humans gather, as we recognize that and open to each other, something changes in our interaction, and there's more glimmering and more mirroring, more shining. When clients start in therapy, some sit down and they immediately unravel. And some sit down and sense the opportunity of the unravel and immediately ravel, which is why I moved to a little bit. And by raveling, I mean they start into a story or they start doing something that pushes the therapist into a place so that they're not having to unravel, because it's hard. Because who wants to feel, who wants to see? It is a challenging, ongoing intention. And so one of the ways that I'm working now is with very structured preparation instructions for sessions and shorter sessions as part of larger programs. So for example, everyone who joins Expand, we do a one-on-one to start, and then they have 2 15-minute one-on-ones to use throughout the program as they choose. And sometimes it's when things are coming up, and sometimes it's because they're traveling and they're missing a week, whatever it is. There are very specific ways to prepare for that session so that when we begin, we are beginning with what is alive and we are being with. And as I joked with a client, what she brought was, I'm scared we're not going to get what I need in 15 minutes. And just in that moment, in that expression of that, we were already with what she needed. Because this is the pattern that she's living with of, I'm not going to get what I need. So the trauma, the fear showed itself in less than 4 minutes of the session we could work it and move through. And so what I'm learning to do is support myself and others in being unraveled and seeing ourselves for who we are, because that ultimately is the answer to all the intentions. And often the intentions are about business, money, health, life, love. They're raveled intentions, but the answer is in the unraveling. The satisfaction is in the unraveling. It's in the body. It's in the heart. It's bringing the unraveled state to each other and getting used to what that experience is like. So thank you for joining me on my unraveled birthday. If this resonates with you, be sure to subscribe so you get all the juicy episodes to come. And if you have a friend who is deep into their personal growth and healing journey, share this podcast with them too. Now go out and experience the aliveness that's here for you today.